Lion Nation, a pleasant hello to you out there. Here with an episode of Coach's Corner and my guest, Lions Head Boys Water Polo coach Brett Ormsby. Coach Ormsby, it's been a while, but thanks so much for joining me.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
It's the exciting time of the year. We're into the postseason. JSerra currently 24-3. They are in the CIF-SS Open Division playoffs. Next game on Tuesday here at home, 5 p.m. against Loyola. I wanted to ask you about the first playoff game last week against San Clemente, a 15-3 victory there to start Pool B action. And Coach, I just wanted to say I thought the defense was what stood out to me. San Clemente was struggling to get good shots. You only gave up 3 goals, which tied you for a season few throughout this year. What did you see on the defensive end that has you encouraged?
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought we played with a level of focus on the defensive end and discipline on the defensive end that was, the best version of us. And so I was really pleased to see that. We've focused a lot towards the end of the year on tightening up the defense. Certainly Jonas Ransford is one of our best players, and we want to highlight him and make sure that we're playing good defense in front of him, knowing that if we force the right shots to him, he's gonna get blocks for us. So yeah, it was good to see the way they played.
Now, obviously, when the postseason starts, usually there's a message and an overriding theme that I'm sure that you talked to the team about. When you guys started this postseason, what was the message to the team? What did you tell them? This is what we have to do, and if we do this, we give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful.
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think I could highlight a couple of things, and one though is just continuing to get better and maximizing the practices that we have, and it's a longer playoff format this year, and allows for a little bit more time in between games, not just more games, but a little bit more time in between games, and so maximizing those practices. I mentioned on the pod with BK, we're able to bring up some of our JV athletes to help support, kind of spar scout team. And now I'm able to bring up my staff too. And so that's one of the things, we just staffed a little bit more during playoffs. And so it's just keep getting better and keep chipping away at it. Being the best versions of ourselves, I said that earlier, is something that I've really highlighted with these kids. I think that when we are that, we're really good. We can be really hard to beat. But we've been a little Jekyll and Hyde at times. I think we've definitely moved our way through that. So that's great. And just finding a nice little rhythm here as we go into the playoffs. It's been a little bit of a clunky season, but we stabilized towards the end of the year. I think formed an identity, and I think the final piece is just that belief system that we could really go all the way and win it all.
Now, your opponent, you talked about the time in between. You guys played last Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you play again Tuesday of this week. And that opponent is Loyola, a team that you're familiar with this year. You played them twice. You've beaten them twice. One was a non-league game here at JSerra. Then you played them at the North-South Challenge about a month, almost exactly a month later. And both times you allowed only 7 goals against them, and you guys were victorious. What do you see about them this third time around, and what is going to have to happen for you guys to be successful?
Yeah, a couple things. I mean, I think just in terms of personnel, they have 2 players that we want to be aware of. We want to make sure we have good matchups on, and left-hander is a creative player, and then a kind of a driver and a post-up player, and then they'll run a lot of 2-man action around those 2 guys. And so want to make sure we have good matchups, and that we're aware those guys score a big number of their goals. So we kind of know where the offense is likely coming from them, and so we'll have matchups there, but team defense is always important. The other thing that Loyola does is they move a lot, so we want to be prepared to defend movement, and again, if our focus is there and we're the best versions of ourselves, we should have success doing that.
And then my final question for you, as you look at just the overall bracket here, I know you never want to get too far ahead, obviously, just what are your overall thoughts on this year's the pool brackets and how things are kind of shaping up there? Is this a system that you like? Is this too many days off in between in terms of the playoffs? How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I haven't talked to other coaches really once the playoffs have started to see kind of what other people are feeling. We have had a scenario in which the bracket play was 1 versus 3, 2 versus 3, and then we have here 1 versus 2. And in all 4 brackets, 1 beat 3 and 2 beat 3, which sets up the final game of bracket play, essentially amounts to quarterfinals. These are just quarterfinal matchups. So that'll be interesting to look at after the season. And it was was it the right number at 12 and so on. But again, in this given year, I've actually liked having the additional time just because I think it helps us to keep getting better.
Well, getting better, we'll see that evidence in the pool. Again, Tuesday is the Lions' next playoff game. Loyola is the opponent, 5 o'clock here at JSerra. We're looking forward to some good things. Coach Ormsby, as always, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you again real soon.
Awesome, thank you.